I won't say the name of it, but I went to my first frat party, and like I'm not in a frat. I don't believe in like being in one, but I got invited, so I went, and I had a lot of fun. So it was the first time I like really like went out and partied in college, because I really just like to like hang around with friends, just to find that collect group of people, because I mean it's just easier that way,
Yeah,
less
obviously.
people to like have to like
go through.
Yeah.
Was it one of those big frat parties where it was like a huge fucking spectacle, girls everywhere, drinks everywhere? Was this one of those small time, like it was just a stack party, really?
Oh no, it was a big party, but
did you get shut down?
We almost did, but I mean,
You got lucky.
yeah, we kind of stopped it like right on time, so
And that is the perfect segue. We're learning how to do segues now. The perfect segue to what I want to talk about you next. So, speaking of parties, I always want to talk about this story somewhere. I didn't want to talk about it on Couch Gamers. I didn't want to talk about it on Let Joe Talk. I want to talk about it on here on the podcast. And now that you bring up, parties, big parties, I'm going to tell everyone the story of the party. Remember that party that was going to happen here in my house that never happened?
I feel like that's been a couple of times.
The one where you were forced to, like, dance with a pillow.
Oh, God, yes. Okay, I think I remember paying $5 to get in, and then just being like, I'm not.
Yeah, because you weren't comfortable back then.
Well,
I don't think you're comfortable
it was also
now.
a weird party.
Oh, yeah, it was like it was going to be like a real party, but it never happened. So I'll tell you all the story. So buckle in. This is going to be a while.
Oh, God.
Why? Are you really that afraid?
No, I'm not. I don't.
Okay, so this was back in junior year of high school. At the time, I was pretty satisfied with my friend group. You know how the thing goes. Like when you start out high school, you get like a lot of friends, but as you slowly get to senior year, that sort of gets reduced to like the people you really care about.
Mm-hmm.
So junior year, I was almost there. I was getting there. I was finding my groove, but there was this other guy I knew that I'm not gonna mention his name, obviously, but he was a friend of mine for that time period. He was more into the party scene, more into drinking, underage, more into like what usually high school students want to do when they're in college. Just in obviously where they are at right there in high school. So for me, it wasn't me like trying to fit in. I never knew why I wanted to do it, but I wanted to throw a party. My dad went away on business, so I had the house free for a week. So in my mind, because I knew him, and I don't know what my mind said back then, but it clicked in. I'm like, fuck, I want to have a party. So I did, and I invited him because I assumed he knew people. He knew a lot of people. So I'm like, yeah, we're going to have a party. We're going to have like a great time here. I was going to have like my first ever drinking party, but you obviously know the result, but I'm not going to spoil that. And I invited him like, hey, I want to throw a party here. You do all the work. I'll just give you the location. He said, sure. And so, to be completely honest, I'm just spoiling this to the end. It did not end so well. It was a fucking horrible train wreck. So, the day of the party came, you came over. I invited you, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
And I invited Rosa, too.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, we all had this premeditation where this was going to be a great party. This was going to be fun as hell. He came in, like, around noonish on that Saturday, and he literally was the worst fucking planner ever, because I was expecting him to come with everything in the morning. He had nothing. He was like, I forgot to bring something from, and he brought some, I'm sorry I'm jumping around here, but he brought some other guy I never even met. He said, he's my bouncer. Well, the guy who just takes the money and just, lets people in.
Yeah, that was where I was kind of just like, what kind of party is this? So that's when I started to think, hey, maybe this isn't the best idea. My other friends are probably doing something.
Yeah, but okay. So when he came over, he was like, "Oh shit, the DJ's coming over, the promoter's coming over." I'm like, "Okay, everything's fine." Obviously, I was putting no money into this party. I was putting nothing. It was just my house. That's all I was giving. I was giving no money. I didn't give him any sort of money, so it was like, okay. He's going to handle everything. I'm just going to have a fun night. And then, I think in the beginning, like in the afternoon, that's when you dropped out of the story, where he was like training us to know how to dance with my girls. Like,
yeah,
not like dancing, but more like the dancing of where, what people like I described this dancing as it's sex that's not sex.
Yeah.
It's like
I would agree.
it's like sex with pants, dry humping, if you will.
Very, very weird.
Yeah, he was training us with my own pillows, and then that's when Sal was like, his fucking mind snapped. Like, yeah, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah, which sucked because what happened was it was like $5 admission, so I paid it, and then he's like, okay, I'm gonna start training you. And like 5 minutes into the training, I forget what my excuse was, but I just said I had to go home for like dinner or something.
Oh yeah, I obviously no. You
the-
told him that. Then when I went downstairs to let you out, like, yeah, I'm not doing this. I'm gonna go home.
Yeah.
And it's like I'll say, oh, I'll call you if something happens. And you said, okay, I obviously didn't call you, obviously.
Yeah.
So this is now where the story you don't know. So literally the house you see right now. So sorry if you can't see right now. We're not recording with videos right now, but look around my house. Literally everything here was gone. I got rid of everything for this party because I didn't trust people with my computer. I didn't trust people with my TV. I didn't trust people with my console. I trusted people with no one.
Oh yeah, trust me. There's a lot of stuff in here, so it must have taken a good hour or so to move all this stuff.
Oh
away.
no, it took me like 3 hours to fucking remove everything.
Oh boy.
We had to move the dining table over here. Where I'm pointing to is my living room area for the DJ to operate, and yeah, it was just pretty much. I was sweating as fuck afterwards. I was really sweating as fuck. I was tired. It was around 6 p.m. That's when the DJ started showing up, and then of course there was like the conversation that would eventually lead to where the night would later go, where the guy said, "Oh, by the way, remember you need to pay me the $250 now, and then pay me $250 after the party's over." And my friend at the time, he had no money. He just had your $5. That's all he had. And then, actually, what's funny enough was that prior to the party, before he came around 8:00 in the morning. Originally, before you and Rosa showed up. And then he said, fuck, I forgot something. I forgot to bring my friend, or he doesn't know how to get here. So let me take your bike. Let me bike all the way to the Bronx and go pick him up. And I was stupid enough to let him borrow my bike. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Do you really want my bike? And he said, yeah, I need it. I don't have money for bus fare. I said, fucking fine. And it's like, just bring it back. He said, sure. And then he went to go pick up his friend. But then fast forward to around 6:00, 7:00. That's when we were starting the party. I was a fucking sweaty mess. I only had like a white t-shirt on. I had maybe some jeans. That was really it. I was going to take a shower before the party. I didn't, obviously. So I was not, even if there was people showing up, I was not in like, the presentable mood. And then literally about like a half an hour into when the party was going to start, he said like, fuck, we need beer. We need like alcohol. And he had nothing. Like, oh, it's back at his place, so they had to go back to the Bronx.
Oh, jeez.
I was like, are you kidding me? How do you not bring what you need for a party when you're coming to the party? He said, sorry, we're gonna go now. We'll be back around midnight. I'm like, that's the time where I want to end the party, because okay, obviously people are saying right now like a high school party ending at midnight, you suck. But like for me, I was under a time limit. Like, my mom was going to come back home. I obviously didn't want my mom to see anything of this. I was stupid enough to believe I could host a party here without my mom knowing. And so I said, try and hurry up, try and get back home. And he said, okay, I'll try my best. Obviously, he didn't.
Yeah.
So here me and Rosa were sitting on our couch, waiting for people to come. Spoilers, again, no one came to this party. The DJ was like just sitting there talking to Rosa and us, talking about like how this party's this is a lame party. There's no one here. There's no girls here. And it was like I was waiting downstairs, like waiting for someone to show up. A couple people, like across the street, a couple of like older women, like not older women, like a couple 20 years old at the time. They stopped by like, hey, you having a party here? I'm like, hey, sure, you should stop by. They never came back.
They probably didn't hear anything. And
they heard the music. They heard the music, but they didn't hear like people coming in. They didn't see like dancing because you can the windows were open, so people that were on the second floor of any sort of house. By around 10:00, I said, screw it, I'm not gonna have this party. So I started cleaning up the entire house by myself. Like literally, the DJ packed up. He just sat on the couch talking to Rosa. I was cleaning around the house before my mom came back, and then I was like, yeah, I threw the worst party ever, and I didn't even get the party started. That was the thing. And then the promoter came back before my friend and his friend came back from the Bronx. And he was like demanding like, okay, where's my money? I'm like, I'm sorry, sir. I had nothing to do with this. My friend and you were the one who made this contract or this verbal agreement. I had nothing to do with it. This was my house. I offered in my house for this party, but I had nothing to do with this, so I have no obligation to give you any money. He understood. Thankfully, he was a nice guy to me and Rosa. To my friend, it was obviously a different story. So what he did was he came up here. He stayed up here for like a while. And he was talking to me like, okay, what time is he coming back? I'm like, he said around midnight. It was about to be like 12:30, 1 o'clock at this time period. So he was obviously running late. And so I told him, well, me and my friend want to go to sleep. We had a long day. And he's like, sure, no problem. Tell your friend that we're going to be outside in the car, like waiting for him. And so he did. My friend came back. Well, my former friend. He came back. He brought, you know what he brought?
What?
Just 1 bottle of vodka. That was it.
Oh, boy.
That was like nothing. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, even if I was even willing to have this party even further, like, you have nothing for us. Nothing.
Yeah, the guy sounds like he and this is the first I'm hearing this story, so now I originally thought, okay, this guy definitely knows how to throw a party. Just
That's
knowing
what I
his
thought
personality.
too. That's what I thought too.
Just knowing his personality, but it's just...
He knew no one. He started a Facebook event. No one invited. No one RSVP. Yes, no one.
Jeez.
He invited over 200 people. I'm like, okay, I was gonna say 200 people. No, maybe 40 people at best, but not 200. Like, what?
Yeah, no, this house can't fit 200 people.
It could barely fit 20. That's the thing. Maybe it could fit 40 if like there was nothing in here. Well, I had a couple of like regular Christmas parties here, like, but for like 20 people, but that was it.
Yeah.
But so he came back. Obviously, I got pissed at him. I was like, oh, by the way, the promoter and the DJ are waiting for you outside in the car. He was like a little bit trembling, like, oh fuck, we did not throw the party. We only had the $5 from you. And he's like, he had no money. So literally, what I did was I went back to my room. I looked outside the window, which looked out to the street, and I saw them, arguing on the streets.
Wait, who is arguing?
So my former friend, his friend that came, and obviously the promoter and the DJ. They came. They met each other like a confrontation. Not like there was no fighting involved. There was a lot of screaming, and so they were arguing about how where's my $500 because he was looking at the thing like your party, this party did not perform. There was no people that came. So, but you still have to pay us for our fee. Guess what he did?
What?
He only just handed the $5.
God.
He just looked at that money. He's like, this is all I have, and he's like, are you freaking kidding me? Well, I'm trying to. He said a lot of more swear words there. He literally slapped the $5 out of his hand.
Jeez.
Because like you missing a couple of zeros here, boy. I didn't hear the whole conversation. It was like it was muffled a little bit because I was like the windows were blocking the clear audio. So I don't know how that night ended because obviously I just went back to sleep. I don't know if he ever paid him. I don't know that. He never told me what happened with the guy later. I'm just saying like that was a fucking train wreck of a night.
It sounds like it. What you're gonna realize about college parties is, and you're kind of just gonna be sitting around your room until 11, and then 11:30 is when most of these parties start. They don't start at 9 and end at 12.
No, never. No. Usually parties like that usually start as early as 10.
Yeah,
maybe 9. So that party was just a train wreck. I'm like, I just decided to forget that whole night. But I couldn't forget that whole night because it leads into another story where you remember my bike. He never brought it back.
Wait, did his friend have a car?
No. I mean, boy, I'm not trying to be racist here or anything, but they were both poor as shit. They had no money. They barely had enough for bus transportation.
Oh, jeez. I'm guessing the friend had to pay for the bus transportation.
Exactly. I mean, the other friend was broke as hell. He only had your $5, and he was just waiting for that $5 for like something for like so it was that thing of now leading into the bike story my bike I gave it to him to use to get to the Bronx because he had no form of money to get there. I had nothing, so I was like, okay, take the bike. I told him bring it back on your way back. He didn't, and when he went back the second time I'm like, can you please bring back my bike? He said no problem. Didn't bring it back. So it's like after he left the next morning I was like, can you come over sometime soon and drop off the bike? He said, sure, no problem. And then so the next few days, it was kind of like, like me sitting around, like waiting for him to give me the call, like, oh yeah, I'm here. Here's your bike. Never came. And so my dad came back from his business trip, and for a while he didn't notice until eventually one day he was like looking around saying, where's your bike? I was like, I gave it away to a friend, and he got pissed at me because he assumed he stole it or he wasn't going to give it back. That sort of thing. It caused a real fucking argument in my household. And then I eventually begged him, like, bro, can you please give me back my bike? Can you please find the time to bring it back from the Bronx? And guess what he told me?
What?
It got stolen.
Oh, jeez.
Now, here's the thing. He lived in the Bronx. His mom did not want him. Again, well, I'm not going to spoil what ethnicity he is, but his mom said, no, you can't have this bike in the house. You can't have this anywhere. You got to put it outside. So he did put it outside without a fucking chain. And this is the Bronx we're talking about, where crime happens. A lot more crime happens than anywhere else here in New York City. So I was like, yeah, one day he dropped the bike off, then he checked again, the bike was gone.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, because I mean, I don't know, the Bronx is kind of big, so I mean, like, what part?
What do you mean?
Would you say? Like, what part of the Bronx does he live in?
I don't know. I never been to his house before. I assume he lived in one of the apartment complexes, which generally is most of the Bronx, I believe. I'm not sure. I only been to the Bronx one time. That was the worst experience of my life, even though I only went as far as the train station, but I just felt completely uncomfortable there.
But I mean, you get used to it. Like, I have a friend who lives in the Bronx, so it's not too bad.
Oh, no. For me, I never want to go back to the Bronx. Like, I never been. That was my one time. I haven't been back in years. So now, what happened to my bike? So what happened next was I had a surgery at the time, which I'm not going to say on camera or going to talk about it anytime soon. But I had a surgery where it put me on a commission for like a week while I was recovering. And I texted him, can you please try and find my bike? He said, I will try. And guess what? He actually did find it.
Oh, shit.
He found it in some really sketchy neighborhood about like maybe a couple miles away from his house. He literally jumped over the fence, grabbed the bike, threw it over the fence, and ran away with it. Now, thankfully, the owners weren't home. Thankfully. Otherwise, this story would have been a completely different story. And so, he brought the bike back. However, the only consequence was, in his process of escaping with the bike, in the chain, the chain that connects the pedals, it got knocked loose.
Ooh.
So he said, okay, now I got to go to my guy, because this is the Bronx. People know people. I'm going to go take this to my guy and see if he can fix it. And again, it was like another waiting game. Like, he said, oh, he's going to fix it today. He's going to fix it today. He didn't fix it. And then eventually my dad really fucking forced me to, like, you need this bike by this day or else something bad's going to happen. I'm going to call the police. Ouch. And it was like, I really rushed him. And you know what this guy had the audacity to say?
What?
He said, I want $100. I want $100 to rush this shit out. I'm like, are you kidding me? You took my bike to the Bronx when I was prohibiting saying no to you, and now you want me to pay for my own bike back? He said, yes. I had no choice, because I'm like, I had no choice. So literally, my dad knew nothing about this, so I had to ask my mom for the money, because obviously I was a high school student. I had no way of $100, maybe even $20. So I gave him the money. He came back with the bike, and then I just sort of left it alone for a while. And that was like, I think the last real time I saw him physically, because he transferred schools afterwards. He did a lot of things with his life, and that was the last time I really saw him. Like, that was like, once he did that, I'm like, that's it. You are not really my friend.
Yeah, it's just, I can't believe that, honestly. It's just I've never heard of such a story.
I'm pretty sure you heard of a story like that. I'm pretty sure.